Good afternoon. It's Erica of Arab Arts, and it's time for Sunday demo, but on Monday. Because the original plan was yesterday I was going to be in the dye lab. That actually didn't happen. But I was very productive doing lots of other little things. So I'm still on track to leave when I need to leave on Wednesday. Still have to figure out exactly when that is. But hoping to start loading the panels into the van tonight. I could do it tomorrow night. We'll see how things go. I've been in the dye lab this morning. I got up early, sort of threw myself out of bed, ate something, and then threw myself in the car and forced myself to go. So I was there a little after 7 this morning, and I was there for about 6 hours. I came back, took on the recycling to the recycling center, and trying to figure out, will I have enough time tomorrow after I go back and wash everything I dyed to do the bank, pick up stuff from the Downtown Dreamers Mercantile, so I can take some of that stuff to Michigan Fiber Festival. Snacks I don't have a time crunch on, so yeah. So today I'm gonna make a bat. I'm still on the low side for art bats. I've got lots of single breed series bats, but a little low on the art bats. So let's make some more. Right. So I got a shipment yesterday from Curly Q's. She'd had a sort of flash sale, post pictures, buy stuff thing. And so I got a really pretty sort of, she does those merino bamboo braids and, sort of the white streaks through them. Got a really pretty purple one, but I also got 2 of these. These are huge. These are 8 ounces of purple. They are Cheviot. And they're a pretty decent Cheviot. I know some Cheviot can be incredibly harsh. I'm just going to keep unwinding this. And then I'm going to remember to actually turn the camera. So obviously I can make a lot of bats out of this. Just trying to find the ends. The ends are down here. Okay. So we're gonna sort of soup up some purple. Let's see how easily this comes apart. Pretty easily. Okay. So we got the purple. But I thought, well, let's make it a little. It's got some nice tonal qualities, but look at this. That's alpaca wool, and then either silk or bamboo. So we're going to supplement with a little bit of that. Not a lot. Usually you don't mix sort of, medium and fine. Alpaca is definitely a fine fiber. But I think a little bit just to sort of add some depth and color would be good. We're also going to use some bamboo. Now, I have 2 colors of bamboo. I can't find the other one. The other purple is moon jelly. This one is urchin, so we're going to use urchin. And then we're going to use kelp because I love kelp with purple, and probably some spring green too. I'm not sure I want anything else in there. I think I'm pretty good. Now you'll notice this is really kind of thick. Okay? I am going to sort of pull it apart like that, and still even thin it out a bit. I've stopped making green bats. I've made a lot of green bats for Michigan. Yesterday I made a couple sort of gray ones and some orange. So let's put this on. Oh, and you can sort of see me there, but let me tilt you just a little bit. Now if you hear banging, that's the bridge work. We progressed to the jackhammer portion of the program. There's currently one of those sort of backhoe things with a giant jackhammer on it, and if I go outside and down sort of the back where I can sort of look under the bridge, I can see all the cement falling in the river, which means there's going to be some issues with drainage in the little sort of offshoot near where I live. I also worry about the turtles. We have a lot of turtles who live in there, and all this stuff sort of falling down on their habitat is not great. Okay, So we definitely have purple now. So if you're watching and you have the ability to say hi, because I know you might be watching at work and like you're sneaking it in, so but say hi if you can. That way I'll know if my comments are working. So I think I'm going to try a thin layer, and if I don't like that, I'll paint it on the next time. So to see how much this clings to the. Look at it. Ooh, doesn't that add some nice variety to it? Like that. Let's get the purple out. Yeah, so today I dyed up. How many did I dye up? I had 3 mediums, 3 larges, 3 extra larges, 2 2X, 3 3X of Half Moon Jacket, which is that long duster, long sleeve, 100% cotton, and it's sort of like high in the front, low in the back. It's got this nice, like, you grab the edges and you can sort of do like wingspan type of thing. So I did that many of those. I had, turns out I actually had 3 2X Jazzy jumpsuits, and an extra large, which is claimed already. Victoria, if you're watching this, your jumpsuit is in the dye bag. And 1 large, so I dyed up those. I had 2 Fez tunics left. I think that's what I called them. It's either Fez, I think it was Fez, because I always pick the short spelling for stuff. Otherwise, it would be the Moroccan tunic. It's sort of almost a terry cloth. I think it is a terry cloth. That has sort of a neckline that goes like this, and then down and up, and then like that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Look at that. Perfect. So yeah, I did that. I had 2 of those left. I had, what else did I do? I did 2 sarongs. I have about 4 sarongs left that I didn't get done yet, but they weren't going to fit. I think I had 10 of these rayon fringed wraps. You wear them as a scarf or a wrap. They're about 20 inches deep and like 70 inches long. So I think I had 10 of those. What else did I have? And then I overdyed a few things. I have these sort of knee-length leggings from right when I started off. And I've never been very happy with the dye job I did on them, so I overdyed them. Or I overdyed 1 pair to see how they would work. And then I overdyed a couple other pants also from early on, back when I actually had pants. And they're ones that hadn't really sold, and I'd marked them down. But I think part of the issue was also the color choices, because I was not as sure about my colors back then. And so I overdyed those, though I think 1 pair I may actually just take. I'll see how they fit me. But, they were a pair of gauze capris, but of course they were long enough to be full-length pants on me, or like ankle length. And then, so those, and then there was a pair of relaxed leggings, which I noticed Dharma still carries. They stopped carrying a lot of their gauze stuff. I think the price of gauze, their gauze supplier just, the price just went through the roof. So, I just don't think I'm gonna carry pants. They're just, I'll do special orders if people want, find a pair of pants through Dharma or something that they want dyed. I'll do that, but yeah, bang, 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 bang. so one of the things I also did yesterday was come up with a form, because more and more people are asking about doing commissions for the clothing, because I don't carry a huge stock because I don't have the storage space for that. So I'm going to experiment with doing a more formalized commission. Right now it's just like, I post a picture and people sort of jump in the comments or send me a message. Particularly, and what happens is at shows, people are like, oh, I really like this, but I can't wear this color. I need it in another color. And so I give them my card and then, say, email me, and sometimes they email me, sometimes they don't. Often that also means, they really weren't serious, but they could have forgotten, even if they took my card. So I'm going to try a more formalized commission form at shows. I'll try it out at Michigan. And I'll probably ask for a deposit. Hello. Yes, it's a great color combo. But I think I'm going to have to, like I said, I'm going to have to ask for a deposit because, I got to cover the cost of the garments, which I don't always have because I got to pay the mortgage and the utilities and, all those other life bills. So I'm currently I've got the form set up. What I was working on last night was an information list that sort of tells you, this style, these are the sizes they're available in. This is how much it costs. This is how much the deposit on it would be. And so I'm going to try that out at Michigan, see how it goes. Because I know people want stuff. I came home from the dye lab and, someone who'd bought several things from me already had sent a message saying, next time you do an order, I want a jazzy jumpsuit and this color and this size. So I know there are people who want them. So I think if I have a form, there's also a receipt that goes with it so that it's easier to keep track of, and I don't have to go rolling back through my PMs or comments trying to figure out, now, who wanted what and what size? So we're going to give that a shot. I am so excited, though. I'm going to get to see some vendors. Some people I had not met before. And then other people who I only see every once in a while will be there. I don't know if any of you follow the Fold Out Cat, Q. They just did a Southern Comforts Fiber Art Show or festival or whatever it's called this past weekend, and they had, I don't know if they had an axle break or something, but they're on their way to Michigan, but they're currently at like a Harbor Freight somewhere where they had to unload the entire trailer, and she has a huge trailer. Fortunately, both her partners were there, so there's three of them working on this, but they unloaded everything in the parking lot so that they could get everything fixed. Yep. Yeah. So I take the deposit, I've got a place to say, like, what form the deposit took, and it says very clearly that commissions can take up to 2 months, right? I would like to always get them done earlier than that, but I also know myself well enough. Some of you may recall the Bo's Back Club from way back in the beginning that sort of fell apart because of my ADD. So this way, having organized, giving me a little time to have a week where I'm not leaving the sofa. People aren't expecting, you're probably going to get it sooner than that, but, between having to order it, making sure I have the dye. In fact, I have 2 tubs of dye this morning as I was looking at them, like, I just did a reorder of dye, and I didn't include these, and I should have. Though I must say my newest favorite color combination is rust brown with muir green. Just such a great, and particularly for fall, it's a really great combo. And I'm almost out of the rust brown. So we'll probably have to order that soon. Other thing I've started doing, sometimes it doesn't matter because I don't have multiples of a particular size within a style, but sometime earlier this year I had a, thank you, I had done I think it was a Judy tunic, and I did it in purple. Oh, actually, no, it was, well, I've done it twice. Last year I did a Luna skirt in medium in red violet, which is kind of this color, maybe a little more, not quite this, because it's more of a hot pink. But anyways, and I went and hung it up at a show, and hung it right next to the other medium that was done in the same color. And I was like, that was silly, because I don't write down what color I dyed something, right? And so, I write down when I sell something, so I know, like, oh, look, this particular color sells a lot. Right? But I did this Lucy tunic, and I went and hung it up right, it was a medium, that was large, and it was in, purple, which I hung next to another large in purple. And so when I have multiples now, usually my thing was, well, I'll just do like one of each size for this coming show. I'm like, no. Now what I'll do is I'm going to dye them all. Okay. And when I dye the larges, I will dye all the larges in that style at the same time, so I don't dye them all the same color. Let me get one more layer on there. And so I was like, going through like those, sets of threes that I had of the Half Moon jackets, and I'm like, almost, not every color, but almost every size. I almost all of them. I did a rust brown with muir green. And what I like to do on the Half Moon jackets is I fold them so that the bottom part of the sleeves lines up with the sort of the bottom hem, so that I can do like the muir green on the sleeve and the bottom hem, and then everything else can be the rust brown. Well, I did a couple that were more sort of tonal solids, and then I did a few that were more just sort of random colors. And I did a few mixes that I'm like, I'm not sure, we'll have to see how these come out. It is kind of hard because when the dye immediately hits the fabric, the color is not necessarily what it's going to look like once it's all washed and dried. Yeah, this is going to be our last layer. A little going over the edge. But, if I don't try the color combinations, I don't know that they're going to work. Yeah, I did one once that was, I think it was red, violet, and daffodil. And I didn't think it was going to work, and I was like, it kind of works. It's not something I would wear, but it looks kind of nice. And, like, I think I did, it was during one of the waffle shows. I showed it, and somebody immediately bought it. A little more of this on the end. Now, because I'll tease this out, this sort of more purpley instead of raspberry color will peek through. so this afternoon is making more bats. So I think I'm going to go to Downtown Dreamers and get all the things I want to take with me to Michigan, just in case I don't get up as early as I want to tomorrow, and it takes me too long at the guild to wash everything, and so I don't get back before closing. So I think I'll go this afternoon and get that stuff. A little bit of fiber there. Now, I am sort of breaking my tried and true practice of when I have something like bamboo here on the outer edge, trying to cover it with a little bit of wool. I may try and cover it with a little bit of wool, because this is a lot of bamboo to have exposed. Hope nobody's getting a migraine from the band. It's very full right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I have no idea what that is. Put that in the trash. I'm going to take just a little bit like this. It's kind of like when you do wet felting and you need to have like just that little bit to sort of cover it up just a little. It'll mute the colors a little bit, but I think it's going to help things stay on. Just trying not to let a clump go on there. Okay. Hopefully that will help. Okay, I'm going to make a couple of these. Since I have, not only do I have that 8 ounces, but I have another one over there. So, okay. So this is the portion of the program, if you're new here, where you get to guess how much this weighs. Person who gets closest gets a trophy, several trophy emojis, and bragging rights until next time I do this. And it's going to be, I'm not doing one of these next week, so you actually get 2 weeks to have bragging rights. Because next Sunday I will still be at the Fiber Festival. I can't remember when it ends on Sunday. And then Monday I'll be driving home. So, and it's a good, at least I gain an hour coming back this way. I lose an hour on Wednesday. But, and what is nice about the Michigan Fiber Festival is the marketplace doesn't open until 10 a.m. Which is nice because I'm staying with Katie from Katie's Fiber Connection, and I think she's about 40 minutes away. Fiber U, it's an absolutely wonderful show. I absolutely love it. The marketplace technically opens at 8 a.m., but you're advised to get there between 7 and 7:30 because the students' classes start at 8 and they want to shop beforehand. The coffee cart opens at 7:30. So I was there between 7 and 7:15 every morning. That's really early, particularly when you're camping. You have to make sure everything's locked up and all that kind of stuff. So the bat before I'm fluffing. Okay. Now I finally actually cleaned the fluffing area. For those of you who don't know, the fluffing area is my futon with a towel over it, which is just off camera, and I'm not, because of the mess, I'm not going to sort of show that. But I will talk loudly while I fluff it, so that I can show you what it looks like, and then we'll weigh it. So I think on Sunday, the marketplace might be open till 4. I think otherwise it's open till 5 most days. Oh, this is really thick. Jessica, you might want to revise your guess upwards. Ooh. That sort of raspberry color is peeking through nicely. I think this is going to be big. Okay, here we go. Oh, got to tear that out. Drum roll. Yeah, it's big. It is big. Okay, and you would be so close there, Jessica. It is 2.97 ounces. So, pretty darn close to 3. Now it needs a name, though. And I think I've used almost all the iris names. Otherwise, I'd just name it Iris. But I've used iris iris bed, I've used wild irises, I've used... I have to think of some other purpley flower thing. If you have any purpley flowers, let me know. And I think I've used columbine. I've used foxgloves. I've used pansies, and it's not really pansy colored. Petunias? I don't know. Okay, well I've got the weight written down. So, oh, iridescent iris. I haven't done that one yet. Okay, I'll pick that one. Thank you, Pamela. I'm going to write it down right now so I don't forget, and I'm going to use your spelling. I like iridescent iris. Okay, so that is it for today. I'm going to make more of these and get them tagged. And tomorrow I'll be back in the dye lab washing everything out and coming back and making some more bats. And I already packed my suitcase, so I did that. I've sort of gathered my food bag. I don't have to worry about too much of a food bag because I'm staying with someone. Do have to do the money bag, but I'll do that at the bank on tomorrow. And there was no parking because of the bridge stuff. There's no parking in front anymore. So I lost on my prime packing parking spot for stuff in the condo, but there were no parking spots available on the side because people had parked in them. Even on Monday, half of businesses in town are closed on Monday. I was just going to leave the van there to pack up, but I'll wait till people close at 5 and then I'll move the van. And if we don't get a storm, which we might, I'll at least pack the camels in because those are the hardest thing to pack. So, yeah. So, hope you all have a great week. I, of course, will be posting for the road and all of that. And I forgot to take my camera today. Otherwise, I would have photos from the dye lab, but I'll try and take photos tomorrow. Okay? Otherwise, you have a really wonderful week.